Hi everyone, Aquarian Humanitarian here. If you're new to this channel, we have been putting out self-development videos related to mental health, consciousness, soul missions, and purpose that would help you ascend to the new earth. So our topic today is how to use energy, frequency, and vibration to create your desired reality. This is to create awareness about the unseen and unlearn what we were told. What did they say? To see is to believe. We're gonna have to unlearn that and learn, believe, and you'll see. So with that said, I want to welcome Sir Tato
Well,
Malay, the founder of the AM Kamalayan Movement. Kamalayan means consciousness. Welcome, Sir Tato, and thank you for
hello,
being here
hello,
again.
and welcome back. Nice to see your video. I mean, alive and
Alive. Yes, yes,
animated as
yes.
and beautiful.
Yes, finally,
Talaga.
finally.
Sabagay, yung
Yeah, I
photo mo
didn't
naman maganda
even,
talaga eh.
like I said earlier, I didn't even try to fix it. I just I just turn it on and see if it'll work, and it works. Sometimes it
Work.
just happens like that. And how many times
All
we've
right.
tried it before? So many times that we tried to fix this camera. But sometimes when you don't try to fix it, it just fixes it. It
That's
fixed by itself.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
I
It's your
mean,
consciousness that actually fixed it.
there you go. And
It was
having
your consciousness.
issues and having it just slipped my mind. I guess I'm not meant to say it. Anyway,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, yeah. What I was gonna say is, having technological issues is part of the psychic attacks that I had to go through. And so it's nothing new. But I'm just
It's
glad
nothing
that
new.
I had my camera on today.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to talk
Yes.
about our topic because this is along the
Exactly.
line of what
Exactly.
Tesla's
Your
been
topic
telling
is
us.
about energy, vibration, and frequency.
Absolutely.
So
All
it
right.
is
So why don't
related to
you?
what's going on.
Absolutely. And we really need to teach people how to use their powers now.
Yep.
And not knowing that power, they're basically going through the same cycle over and over and over, and they don't have to.
Mhm. Yep.
So we want to teach them how to use energy, frequency, and vibration to
All
basically
right.
manifest what it is that they want. So, with that said, go ahead and share your wisdom in regards to the topic, and
Well,
I'll add some more later.
we've been discussing this for the longest time already, but
Yep.
still people cannot get it fully in terms of what we're trying to explain to them. Now, the thing here is, all right, you mentioned it in its real sequence: energy, frequency, vibration. In other words, energy first, because everything is energy. We are all energy. Even God is energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then frequency. What do we mean by arranging it in order of it's being second to energy? That means it it is already there. The frequency that we want is already present. We are living in the now, so everything is in the present. Everything is already there. We already we really have everything that we want to have. So the frequency that we want to be into is already there. So
Mm-hmm.
the energy is there, the frequency is there. The next thing lang talaga is how do you really vibrate so that you enter the frequency that you like. So at least you have a clue already as to what we're going to discuss here in terms of how to explain energy, frequency, and vibration. Because many of them don't know exactly what do we mean by frequency. Well, frequency again is like what you have in your radio dial. If you have a radio set, every number is a frequency. From if you're familiar with the numbers in on an FM station,
Mm-hmm.
on an FM radio. You start with, for example, 89.9 or 88.8, and then 89.9, and then I know 89.1, and then 89.9, and then 90.7, and then 91.5, and then 92.3, and then 93.1, and then 93.1, 94.7. See, I mean, I still remember all the frequency dials because I used to work in a record company and I had to remember all the frequencies of every station that I dealt with during my time. So pagitan lang nila is something like 0.08. So add 0.08 to everything, you get the next desired number. So ganun lang yung sequence na yan. Because that was the law. There is supposed to be a space of 0.08 between stations para hindi nag-aagawan yung frequency. So that means every quick frequency is already aligned, is already in place. Now the thing is, okay, what do we mean by frequency? All right. If we want the frequency of abundance, so there is a frequency of abundance. Now there is also a frequency of scarcity. So it's your choice whether to go to that dial of abundance or you move your dial to the frequency of scarcity. So it's how it is like. That's how it is like. So I hope you get it. Now you get to a frequency according to your vibration. What do you mean by vibration? We have to vibrate. How do we vibrate? Like that? I mean, I mean, that's not how we vibrate. We vibrate through our feelings, through our thoughts, through our emotions. And so, like for example, anger. Anger is an emotion. So the moment you feel angry, I mean, you feel something there, and you actually get to to it somehow gets into something like out of control. Sometimes you cannot control anymore your anger. That means your vibration is really too much. So you have to control your vibration so that to appease the anger into something lesser. So because if you really let go of that anger, I mean, it might, end up into, doing something you will regret later on. You might, you know, just slap someone on the face or kill someone for that matter because you're angry. I mean, a lot of people who are angry don't have control of their emotions, and so somehow they want to do the most drastic thing. So again, we have control over those things. So we vibrate according to where we want, where or what frequency we want to be in. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you can help me explain this further if you feel there is something that I need to explain more. But if every everything is properly with you, I mean, okay with you, so I will continue with other matters regarding this thing.
Actually, what I wanted to do is now that you explain what energy, frequency, and vibration is, let's tackle each area or each aspect of our life. So we can either way how you wanted to do it, but let's talk about love in relationship, finance, and health. So
Okay.
let's do it like this. Like give an example of somebody who's in a lower vibration, and how will they change their energy, frequency, and vibration to manifest what it is that they want. So let's go. Where do you want to start? So there's three
All right.
aspects of life
Maybe
that I
I
want
will
to.
add. Yeah. Here is where I will add something to what we had talked about earlier. All right. Everything that happens outside. ourselves is a reflection of our inner self. So that means everything happens inside us, inside our consciousness. Like where, I mean, in my seven universal laws or principles rather that I usually tackle or explain in my seminars, especially in my star consciousness seminars. The first universal principle that I talk about there is you are what you believe yourself to be. You are what you believe yourself to be. Okay, what do you believe about yourself? Who are you? Do you know who you are? That's a real question that you have to ask yourself. Do you know everything about yourself? Do you know why you sometimes act this way or you sometimes act that way or what sometimes you're not happy with something? Why? It's because of who you are. That's what people don't know. All right. As I've said, okay, I mean, we will now go back to that time before we were born. As I've said, everything was planned. Everything was planned. There are no accidents in the universe. We chose our parents. We discussed that a lot of times already. But maybe now is the only time I will discuss it. Maybe it's my first time to discuss it here, but I've discussed it in my other seminars and in my workshops. Before we came here, we chose the date of our birthday. Now, what's the essence of that? What's the meaning of that? Why did we choose a certain date to be born into? Is there something relevant that we need to find out about that? Yes, so many things. Why did we choose to be born? For example, I chose to be born in July, the latter part of July. Yeah, I was born on July 31. Why did I choose that? Because I wanted to be a Leo, to be born under the sign of Leo. Now, if you are familiar with zodiac signs, everything is a cycle, right? Astrology, there are cycles, there are what you call signs that define what it is like to be born in that particular sign. All right. Now, I chose to be born on a month where I actually become really a bona fide Leo. Now, I chose also the year. I will not say what year, but my Chinese zodiac sign is the rabbit or the cat in other um, what do you call this Asian astrology. Kasi, you know, the Chinese horoscope or the Chinese year is not actually exclusive to the Chinese. It's actually, I don't know, those who believe in that particular, I would say, sign, uh, but it's not really, uh, exclusive by, I mean, for the Chinese. It's the lunar cycle. So I chose to be born in the year of the rabbit or the cat, according to that lunar cycle that I chose. Okay, so with that in mind, knowing those things, and I became interested in astrology. In astrology, somehow, there are some things that are explained as to who you are. There is a description of a person who is an Aquarian person like you, a person like me who is a Leo. Another one is maybe a Scorpio, a Scorpion, born in the year of of Scorpio. Why did we choose a particular sign? All right, and that particular birthday. Now, in astrology, I don't know if you believe that your personality is engraved according to your birth date. If you really want to know many of the things about yourself, go buy a book on about birthdays, and you will see clues as to really who you are according to your personality in relation to your birthday. You know, I have a book which I bought, and this book is Birthday Secrets. I've had this for a long time. Sira-sira na nga kasi this had been used by a lot of people every time I got to meet with them, and I told them, search for your birthday there, read them. I need to find out if what is being said here is true according to who you are in terms of your birthday. You know, 100%. Wala ngang 95.5 or whatever. 100% when they read their birth date on this in this book, they said, exactly, this is me. So now, ano ang kahulugan nito? What does it really uh, entail in terms of it being relevant to our life? We have to know who we are. At least we have a basis now. You can reject whatever you want to reject if you feel it's not you. When you once you read all these things about yourself, even your astrological sign according to your, for example, Aquarius or me, like Leo. Not everything about Leo is me or I approve of. So again, what am I talking about here? Because we really attract who we are. We don't attract actually anything that we want to have. Not not because parang I actually had this problem with the book The Secret, the movie The Secret. They told us as to how to attract or to use the law of attraction there. But many times it did not work because many of the affirmations that we do is not in alignment with who we are. We still are dominating. Who we are is still dominating the reality that we see outside ourselves. So if you don't know that, many of the things that you want, and then sasabihin mo, bakit hindi ko nakukuha? Because it's not in accordance to your being. So again, di ba, we explained that before. We were not taught the right way. We were taught to do, to have, and to become. We have to do first something like you have to do the job to be able to have something and then to become somebody later on, to become rich or whatever. Or you know you have to do a certain job so that you can have money, and then once you have the money you can say, well, now I can become what I want to be. Actually, that's the wrong way. That was the wrong start in terms of what the schools taught us, because it has to be first beingness. Be, do, and have. We have to become first who we are to have, to do what we can do and to have everything later on. So if you understand that beingness is really the key to attraction, who you are is what you attract. Now, everything that you are now attracting in your life is in accordance to who you are. Are you happy? Are you sad? If you're not happy with what you are attracting, that means you have to look inside you now. There is something in you that is manifesting something in your reality that you don't like. you have to fix it not outside. You cannot fix it outside. You have to fix it inside. You have to find out more about what that is not in alignment to what to who you really are. Like for example, me, when I discovered something beyond astrology, I took up a personality test type, Myers Briggs personality type. Myers Briggs actually explained everything according to duality. For example, if I am either a thinking person or an intuitive person, if you take the test, there will be a percentage that you will see whether you are more into thinking. If you're more into thinking, you're more logical, you're more analytic, or you're more into an intuitive, or you might maybe in the middle. You can be both. So you won't know unless you take the test. Now, when I took the test, I found out I was at the extreme end of intuitive. So I wasn't really on the thinking side. So sabi ko, kaya pala talagang bobo ako nung nasa eskwela ako kasi I wasn't really doing it the way schools wanted me to do it because I was not thinking and I was using my intuition all the time and I couldn't see myself. I wasn't, but I felt I'm not fit here. I mean, I think I'm not, you know, I'm not going to really be able to finish my schooling, my courses. But my parents were so patient with me. Sabi nilang nila, sige, as long as you can stay there, we don't mind paying for your tuition. So basta as long as you're in school. So pinagtsagaan ko. I stayed in school. But again, I knew I wasn't really learning the way I should have learned. Because yun pala, talagang I was more of an intuitive. But the school did not address my my concerns. They didn't know, maybe, that I was an intuitive person. So sabi nila, you know, there's a problem with you. They actually asked my parents to come to visit the principal's office when I was in high school a lot of times because they had to update my parents as to my standing in class. Sabi na, you know, your son is poor in math, your son is poor in all this science. So parang sabi na, so where is my son good at? And I couldn't define where I was good at. And then later on, when I was in college, I only found out that my highest grade that I was able to attain in a subject was in the humanities subject. I loved humanities. I mean, when I was actually taking up that subject, talagang I was eyes and ears to my teachers. And when the exams came, I was perfect. So sabi ko, okay, I should have taken up pala humanities in the first place. Why did I take up another course? I didn't know. But again, as I said, you won't know unless you are already there. So again, in Myers-Briggs personality, they are assessing both extremes, whether you're a thinker or you're an intuitive. Now, the other one is, okay, um, the other one is whether I was a sensing person. Now, the opposite of sensing is, wait, I will just look at my notes so that I
Okay,
won't
wait, I'm
confuse it
sorry to
because,
interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt,
yeah,
Gatats,
yeah,
but
yeah. Okay,
we've already discussed this in another session, and I don't want this to be a duplicate of that session.
okay,
So
all right. Okay, that
can you just
it's
bring
good
us
that you
back
reminded.
to
It's good as it's
let's
good that
just stay in topic and link what you're telling us to what the topic is so that
okay.
people can relate.
Kasi nga I'm trying to explain again that we attract who we are according to who we are. We don't really attract through affirmations because if it's the affirmation is aligned to who we are, That's where the problem lies. Now, the thing here is, how do we know? How will we know who we are? Unless, yun na nga, we have maybe what we call a uh, a contract, a soul contract already as to who I'm going to be in this particular lifetime, what I want to experience according to who I am. That's why I chose a particular date as to what date I'm going to be born into. So yun na nga. So that explains that, no? So I won't dwell on that more more. Now the thing is, if you don't know really who you are, that's where really the problem lies. Again, doon ako nagpo-focus. I always try I always tell my I would say my uh, those who take up my courses or my seminars. I said I can give you a short personality test right now for you to be able now to find out as to who you are, because everything that I will teach you will not make sense, because if you don't know still who you are at the end, you won't be able to apply the techniques that I'm going to teach you, because basically it will not align. So I gave them another test, which was the Enneagram. Because in the Enneagram, I had something in my PowerPoint. I was able to address it at once. I used it even with my assumption students, because I said, you want to know everyone here? All right, we'll actually identify every one of you according to who you are easily. So at least mababaw yon. Pero again, hindi siya mababaw. Malalim din ang Enneagram. But again, it's a personality type that I could easily give to everyone. So from then on, the moment they know already who they are, in a way, that's the time I continue my seminar and then talk about manifestation, law of attraction, everything. So dun nila na-apply already. Yeah. Okay, so this is me. I cannot pinpoint that. Okay, like for example, in my case, in my experience, I found out that I am more into not into business. I found out that I wasn't cut out for an executive position in terms of a job in a company. I found out that I wasn't into um, the sciences. So where did I actually discover who I am according to my personality type? And it opened doors for me easily. I was a pathfinder. I was in that group called pathfinders. What do we mean by pathfinders? This is a group of people whose personality is more into mission work, more into what I'm doing now in Kamalayan. Everything took a solid form in what I was doing when I found out that how much I tried to become a millionaire, I couldn't, because that was not my soul contract in a way, according to my personality type. I could change it, but it would be hard, because I, I really came here in this world to do that, to help, to help uplift consciousness. And so, where's the money there? I mean, sabi ko niya, okay, that was when I started asking my spirit guides, okay, now that you have identified, now that I have identified myself to be this, what can I do to enjoy life in this world? And then they said, you can have everything. You don't have to work for anything. Practically everything is yours. Whatever you want to have, you will have it. And that was when I was able to apply the law of attraction as to who I am. When they told me I can have everything, okay, what do you want? I said, I want to travel, but I need a lot of money. I cannot travel without, 100,000 at least. okay, where do you want to go? I said, I want to go to, well, of course, Asia first, and then US, and then Europe. All right. So what are you waiting for? You mean I don't have to have money? No. Imagine already that you are already experiencing your trips and you can have it. But you have to really identify the places you want to really go to. Hindi yun basta-basta lang. You have to identify them. You have a reason why you want to be there. All right. Okay. So what happened? So I said, okay, what do I need to do first? You want to travel internationally, you have to get first a passport. So that's what I did, get a passport. All right. So now that I have a passport, okay, eto na. I was having a radio program in Radio Veritas. Remember, I used to be an anchor in Radio Veritas for 10 years. And then there was this one mother who called me up and said, Tato, I want you to meet my daughter because I think you'll find her okay naman din. Sabi ko, what do you mean? You want me to meet your daughter? And sabi ka niya, kasi parang you're a good son-in-law material. Sabi ko, you haven't seen me yet. I mean, you just hear me on radio. But sabi niya, no, I can feel it. I mean, I want you to meet my daughter. But the problem here is my daughter is not here. She's in Hong Kong. So I will take you to Hong Kong. I will buy tickets for you and I'll take you there. All expenses paid. Don't worry about anything. Sabi ko, my God, Hong Kong is one of the places I wanted to see first. But sabi ko, kailan ko kaya makaka-travel no? Sabi ko, I don't have the time. But now, sabi ko, no, I'm sorry, but I cannot accept your offer. Sabi ko, I don't have the time right now. No. I mean, you have to. I have booked, I already have the tickets. I will send the tickets to your station and then we leave on that particular date and then that's it. So wala na akong choice. I had to leave. And so sabi ko, wow, free trip. All expenses paid. And so I got to meet the daughter. Unfortunately, the daughter, hindi niya ako type. So, okay lang. Sabi ko, I didn't really intended naman to really meet her in the first place. It was the mom who wanted me to meet her. So, no problem with that. But I had a free vacation. So, again, eto na. Again, as I've said, I wanted to travel for free. Kasi sabi nga nung spirit guides ko, you don't have to pay for anything. You will travel for free if you want to attract that. No problem. And so, okay. So I went back. I went home. I enjoyed my first trip abroad. Thinking that not that mother. Sabi ko, sorry mama, ma'am, sabi ko, kasi hindi naman ako natay pa ng anak niyo. And then, no problem. Basta the only thing that I wanted was for you to meet her and take you to Hong Kong. That's all. And so, no problem with that. Eto na. So, the next Sunday, when I went on board again, I thanked her on radio. I said, thank you for actually this free trip. And there was another mom who called me up and said, Tato, I want you to go back to Hong Kong to also meet my daughter. Sabi ko, my God, what's this? And then, I just I just arrived from Hong Kong and then I'm going to leave again to meet again another daughter. Sabi ko, ano naman to? Ano naman ano nang ginagawa ng aking kamalayan? Bakit na-attract ko ng mga ganitong mga offers? And then, doon ko na-realize, okay, sabi ng spirit guide, parang, they were nudging me. Hindi ba you wanted to travel for free? Although, you're getting the free tickets right now. Okay, so, this is how it's going to be done. All right, so now, hindi ko na pala problemahin talaga ang pera. So, I was able to prove, eto na, the tickets, although I was objecting to it, kasi sabi ko nakakahiya naman kasi siya naman, this time, she will not accompany me. But she gave me the tickets. And then, pinapunta na talaga ako sa Hong Kong. And then, naka-arrange na dun sa daughter niya. So, pagdating ko sa Hong Kong, I just called the daughter. And she picked me up sa hotel ko. And the daughter was a cast-iron stewardess. Wow, sabi ko, ang ganda. Grabe. Type ko. Kaya lang hindi naman ako naging type. Bakit? Ang height, 5'11". I'm just 5'6". So sabi ko, okay, no problem. But sabi ko nga, alam mo, sabi, I was apologetic to the daughter. Sabi ko, pasensya ka na. It's your mother who's makulit eh. I mean, she insisted that I come here to meet you. No, I know my daughter. I mean, I know my mother. No problem with that. At least, I met you and we had a good time. We had lunch. And then you can go and tour. You still have a few days left. And so, I had a grand vacation again. So, eto na. Balik na naman ako sa one. So, what I'm saying here is, this was how I was able to get all my tickets. As I've said, I traveled the world for free. Okay, hindi pa natapos yan. There was another mother who called me up. Hindi na sabi.
Okay,
Hindi, pero I will add lang. Oh, sige,
hold
sige.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Because we're almost out of time and we haven't really discussed the gist of this discussion. And I really want us to not spend the whole hour discussing how you manifest it because it's not going to help. It will help people, but they must have to relate to your same situation in order to get something out of this. Now, how can we go back into this discussion and focus on the people? Not us, not you, not me. What is it that they have to do in order to get to the next level? So for example, like what I said earlier, let's look at all aspects of what it is that they want: relationship, love, finance, health. How can
Okay,
we
again,
help them go to point A to point B without having to
all
go
right.
through the whole story
All right,
of
okay.
what happened to
I
you?
understand. I'm sorry, I understand. I understand. But then again, again, as I've said, everything boils down into who we are. That's why the first principle I teach is uh, you attract everything according to what you believe, according to who you are pala. Now the thing here is, eto na, when it comes to relationships, again, it all again would boil down to according to who I am. Because as I've said, I had a lot of relationships, but I never actually, well, I would say ended up in terms of having a long-term relationship with people. Okay, why? Because maybe there was something in my mind that was not ready for maybe marriage yet at that time. But as I've said, I was more into career. So again, I'm talking about myself because I cannot talk about other people's experiences because, as I've said, the only way I can convince other people is nagawa ko kasi ito. So in other words, all right, I wanted to have a lot of girlfriends. I wanted to have a lot of relationships. That's a dream of many, to have relationships na maganda or the best kind of a relationship. But then again, how do you get to attract a person in terms of who you want to have a relationship with? Again, you attract who you are. Now, if you are someone who is not uh, fully able to understand what love is all about, you will get someone who is exactly like you. We were indoctrinated that love is a 50-50 thing, that I give this and you give that. In other words, if you don't show me the the effort that I'm also showing you first, let's call it quits. Ganun tayo. And somehow, everything ended not in a beautiful way because I was looking for something from them. I was expecting a lot. But again, as I've said, in this Kamalayan that I am into, you don't exactly change other people according to what you want them to become, because you attracted them already as to who you are. You are attracting everyone na kaparehong kapareho mo. If you want to change the other person, you have to change no one except yourself. That's again another thing that you need to remember into having a relationship talaga that you want to magandang ending. Because I said, it's all about, again, ourselves. It's according to who you are. Now, when I understood that, that was the time I became very careful with my relationships already, because somehow I had evolved, and something that I needed to something that I was already experiencing was, yun na nga, hindi na ako nag 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 ko-control ng other people in terms of what I wanted them also to become according to what I think should be. Now the thing here is, I became more into what you call understanding of everyone, and I was giving unconditional love always. All right, so unless you know that, you will still not be able to love or maybe marry for the right reasons, because many people get into a relationship for the wrong reasons, because they found someone attractive, they found someone nakakatawa or beautiful, yun lang, na in love na sila. But again, as I've said, it's a total thing. And it's a total thing about a person, but about yourself. Now, again, as I've said, you don't change the other person, you only can change who you are. Now, if you want to now to look into the business side or the financial side of things, okay, so I've said, I tried a lot of times to earn money. I had a lot of jobs, but I ended up not really saving much or or trying to move to a higher executive position or having that ambition to be more on top, because parang sa akin parang what for? I mean, I'm not here to, I felt already that I mean at an early age that parang I'm not here to really earn a lot of money. I'm here to experience many things, I suppose, pero to be in a position lang and then to retire, I don't think that's my life. Because when I studied my 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 kumbaga my ambition in life, parang sabi ko, it's not something that I get to see in my total picture of how I would live my life. So I said, if I'm not going to get very, very rich, I don't think I will be able to have a family, and another, yun na kasunod family, relationships. Kasi sabi ko, I will not be able to support a family because I'm not going to earn that much money, because I have other dreams aside from that first. I want to travel first. I mean, if ever I will have a lot of money, I will spend it all in travel. But again, many of the travels that I had, I never really spent so much for that. But again, as I said, when I got back, it wasn't something that I would look forward to, yung maghanap ng trabaho para lang to earn again some money. So it's all according to who you are. You have to really find out. And then the third one, we about your health. Kasi health, wealth, love, and success yan. Yung 4 areas in our life that we need to actually address. Your health. Yun, health ko, talagang I gave time for it. I spent a lot of money for gyms. I mean, I went to more of the highest paid gyms during my time. Talagang sabi ko, it's not going to just be an ordinary gym. Talagang ito, I want to be assured that I would maintain my health throughout the years that I'll be living. So talagang I regularly went to gyms then. So yun na nga, kaya lang yung lifestyle ko, sabi nga nila, gym ka ng gym. Pag uminom ka naman, lakas mo uminom. At saka pag kumain ka, para kang wala kang pinipili. Lahat ng bawal, kinakain mo. So, what do you mean by health? O nga, no? Sabi ko, I, 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 I really have to be more focused on healthy matters, healthy issues. But that's what I learned at the latter part of my life. But during my early years, wala akong pake. Talagang I ate whatever I wanted to eat. I drank like kuan, talagang walang katapusan. And para mabawi lang, I would go to the gym so that I would keep myself trim. So, ganun ang mindset ko noon. But again, it didn't work really very well that time. But I felt I had to adjust so many things in my life at the latter part of my life. So again, the four areas, the success part is, what is it really that makes you happy? Are you doing it? Are you really able to say, well, I'm happy with what I am having, what I am doing, and what I am living for in terms of my family, in terms of my loved ones. So again, everything has to be balanced. If those things are not balanced, that means you are not attracting the right things in your life. Because many times we let go of other areas in our life just to have a lot of money. We we sometimes forgo our family. I mean, napapabayaan natin ang pamilya natin or our health for that matter. But it cannot be that way. You have to maintain all of those things. Now, the thing here is, it's hard to balance them, to attract everything so that you can say, I am doing everything according to a well balanced life that I should live because I want to attract the best things in my life. Now, the thing here is, have I done, the question is now, have I actually achieved it? For me to say that I have already, yes, I have done it, what I've wanted in my life, but still, there is still something that I am continually doing. That's why I cannot say I am a retired person. I cannot say I will retire anytime now. No, I don't see myself retiring. I see myself pursuing my mission, doing my thing. Now, what about my love life? I don't know if it's in my soul contract because when I was younger, I thought I was going to get married, but parang hindi. Pero I don't know why there are things now that I am experiencing, especially with mga manghuhula na I'm going to get married this year. So sabi ko, teka muna, totoo ito eh. Sabi ko, again, I have to adjust again my mindset. If I'm going to get married this year, I have to prepare for it. Sabi ko. But again, as I've said, I don't know if it's in my soul contract or maybe I have to really just be open about it. So okay lang. So whatever happens, I'm ready. So I hope the girl that I get to meet is understanding as to who I am. Because again, as I've said, I'm attracting someone according to who I am. Again, in my uh, financial side, well, I have money right now to maintain my lifestyle, but still to help in my mission, my Kamalayan advocacy, I need really sabi ko nga, how, when I was asked how much money I wanted to have, sabi ko 500 pesos, 500 million pesos, 500 million, not 50 million, not 5 million, 500 million. Why 500 million? I have big dreams for my Kamalayan advocacy. Grabe. I cannot say a small time ito. It's a big time thing. So I need all the support of maybe companies who will support me, or some, before I used to have individuals who were supportive of me then, who were giving me the kind of, well, financial aid. But then again, sabi ko nga, it's still on the road up pa. I mean, because marami pa akong hindi nagagawa. I still need more funding for whatever. So I know it will come. So wala akong problema dyan. So as I said, I've already aligned myself to all the areas with all the areas in my life in terms of what I am doing. That's why, mapulot nyo yung whatever you can pick up from what I'm sharing here. You have to really be able to first balance everything in your life, work it in terms of giving time individually to every area. You cannot just say, well, I am more into this and I'm not into this. You cannot say that. You cannot practically let go of another area. For me, a spiritual person is someone who is successful, rich, uh, loving with a family or with people, and happy with what I with everything. So for me, that's exactly my message. The law of attraction is good, but again, what do you want to attract in your life? What is it really that you want to have? What is it really that you want to do? Now you have to understand all these things. Now, again, as I've said, it all boils down. Do you know who you are? Because it all starts from there. And that's all. I mean, I think that's the entire thing that I want to emphasize here at this point in time. Because again, we have everything that we can work with, the tools, energy, frequency, and vibration. All you have to do is to align to that frequency, vibrate to that frequency, because the energy is there. Everything is already there. The frequency is already established. Yourself, in terms of who you are in another lifetime or in another kind of, I would say, consciousness, it's already happening. It's already there. All you have to do is move to that direction. But are you aware? That's the real question there. So maybe you can add more to this, or you can ask me more questions later on.
Actually, we don't have, um, we're getting very close to the 60-minute mark. So I'm just gonna wrap it up now. I'm
Yep.
going to basically summarize what you mentioned, and I will add something, and then I'm also going to share an article that I kept, and I'm going to read that. So, because this is something that was not discussed by you yet, which is gratitude and being able
Oh yeah,
to,
gratitude. Yes, of course. As a
yep,
matter of fact, that's basic in my ano. I'm sorry. I mean, every time I have all these things, I always start with a thank you. Thank you for everything. I mean, yeah,
okay, all
it's all
right.
about gratitude.
So
Because
let me,
you have them already. It was given
yeah, but
already. So
yes, but it's something that we have to practice daily. That's
yep,
one of
yep.
the things that it's very important. That's, you mentioned self-love, you mentioned unconditional love, but the part that's missing is gratitude and connection to source
Yep,
and
yep.
spirit.
Uh,
That's
kasi na-focus ako dun
that's two
sa
are the big ones
attraction.
that,
Uh,
yeah. All right, so let me read this article because this is really good. Air is worth more than money. Air, okay? And yet, no one is grateful for it until it's
Yeah,
gone. Air cannot be seen or touched, but it sustains you. It's invisible, like self love. It's free, like gratitude. If you don't
mm,
appreciate the air, how do you expect the universe to trust you with a house, with a car, with a bank account? First, you have to be a millionaire in life before becoming a millionaire in money, in finance.
mm, exactly.
A rich soul is the one that smiles at a flower, at a ray of sunlight, at a deep breath upon waking. I don't buy things with money. I buy them with my energy, with my vibration, with my frequency,
Exactly.
with my gratitude. Matter is the child of feeling, and feeling is born from consciousness. First, I feel abundant, then abundance manifests. Self love is the original capital. It's the gold that isn't mined, it's cultivated. When I love myself, I fill myself with love, with life. And when I am full, life reflects that same back to me. Because everything is a reflection. Life doesn't
Exactly.
give you what you want, it gives you what you feel you already have. So, if you want to manifest love, a home, a project, a career, take a deep breath, feel full, give thanks as if it's already done,
Done.
and let life brings it to you in its own language. So the phrase is to repeat as mantra. It suggests the air sustains me and I sustain my abundance. I'm not poor, I'm breathing. And that alone is wealth. The invisible creates the visible, the subtle sustains the dense. My gratitude is my universal currency because first you give thanks and then you receive. Just like you breathe first and then you live. And you, have you already thanked your next miracle today? That was the article. All right, so this one I wrote earlier and also something that people missed, okay? Why they're not able to manifest things. Because three things needs to be in coherence. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions must be in coherence. If you are thinking like a millionaire, but you're feeling like victim, you have this victim mindset, poverty mindset, you're not in coherence. And if you're not taking action towards becoming that of what is that you want, you're not in coherence. Okay. So the other thing that I noted here is be the best version of yourself first. Focus on you first. And then you never have to attract anybody because you will magnetize it. You will be a magnet of who you are. So you don't even have to try and manifest this. Okay? Because sometimes manifestation, you have to be careful because there's a thin line. When you're trying to manifest things, you can dip into the vibration and frequency of scarcity and lack because you keep trying to manifest things that are lacking. And when you're in that vibration, you're never, ever going to manifest what it is that you want. So be very careful. And that's why practicing awareness, mindfulness is very important because you need to be in the present moment to be able to catch yourself and transmute that negative energy to something positive. So when you're not conscious about what you're saying, about what you're doing, about what you're feeling, you might be dipping into a lower vibrational frequency. And in that vibration, you're not going to manifest what is it is that you want. Another thing, release limiting beliefs that you cannot get what you want because you're blocking your blessings when you think that. Whenever you want something, let's say you want to travel somewhere, the first thing that people most do is self sabotage themselves by saying, "Oh, I can't go travel there because I have no money." If that's how you speak about yourself, you don't have we know what the truth is, right? But we don't have to vocalize it because once you vocalize it, it multiplies 10 times. So if you're saying that, and I say this all the time, it's just two words, but very powerful, and and it's very negative. The word sana all.
Sana all.
Whenever you say sana all, it's like you're affirming your lack. Okay, so do you want to keep affirming that you're lack by saying sana all? Delete that in your vocabulary. Another thing, again, he mentioned it earlier, love yourself first, self-love, because you need to be able to love yourself in order for others to love the way you want to be loved. So you want to love yourself first, and you need to learn unconditional love. You cannot be in a relationship thinking that this person you have to be with this person because they make you happy. No, you have to be whole first. You have to be happy first, because then you're relying on the other person for your happiness, and that's not going to be good. So you need to be whole first. First of all, you cannot give from an empty cup anyway, right? Cannot. You have to be full, just like what I read earlier in that article. And then you have to accept things for what they are. Accept reality as it is. People are having a hard time with this. I was having a hard time with this before I practiced vipassana, um, because we like to, as humans, we always like to control things, right? And if we don't get what we want, we feel bad, we suffer. So being able to accept things, learn that, accept things for what it is. That's hard. That's not easy. Okay. And like I said earlier, focus on making yourself better, gratitude, and connection with source and spirit, because that's how you're able to um, get your guidance, right, from the spirit, from source. And if you're not practicing awareness, you might be seeing signs. I mean, there might be giving you signs and synchronicities and actions to take, but you're missing it all the time because you're worried about the past, you're worried about the future, you're never in the present moment to catch all these things that they're asking you to do. So that's it. Make sure your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions are all in coherence. Don't focus on what's lacking. Focus on uh, being what it is that you want. So if you
Yeah.
want a loving relationship, be loving, be love. If you want a lot of money so you can do your mission, then make sure you're listening to the actions that the spirit are telling you to do. Because if they're telling you, okay, do this, and you're missing out, then you're not getting to your point B. So make sure that you're paying attention. Um, and yeah, so thoughts, it has to enter in your thoughts in the spiritual realm, because that's how we manifest things, not the other way
Okay.
around. It has to be
Yeah.
created in your thoughts first. You must see it, you must visualize it before you go to sleep, after you wake up. This has to be in flowing in you like like you're already living it. That's
Yeah.
how you manifest things, through your thoughts, through your
All right.
emotions,
Actually,
and
okay.
through
I
your
mean,
actions that in line with all of these. So you're in coherence. All of these three things are in coherence.
okay. I will now go to the spiritual aspect of everything because we are really spiritual beings. As I've said, Everything is energy. God is energy. We are God as we. And what does that mean? We are creators. We are really creators. We can create whatever we want in life according to what we really like to have, whatever. Even things that will not work for us in terms of positively, it is allowed for us to have it because, you know, sabi nga, we have free will. So we have to have that kind of understanding. That's why nga, if you see all these people now doing things na parang, they have everything already. Why are still, getting into this? And now they're facing problems like being sent to jail because, nga, they couldn't actually know, they wouldn't know when to stop from, getting more money or whatever. And then now they have to get it illegally in a way just to get more money. And then somehow, parang, sayang. I mean, they were already able to have it. But then again, as I've said, sabi mo nga, if you don't know when to stop, or sometimes when you're doing it out of greed already, uh, that's changing everything in your life. No, now the thing is, when you are actually God as you, nga, nothing is impossible. Everything is there for us. So again, as I've said, huwag kayong mangamba, huwag kayong matakot, huwag kayong mag-limit in accordance to what you want to do in with your life. Everything already is with you because you are given the powers. We all have that power. That's what people don't know, that we have that power. And somehow we use that power in terms of, well, sometimes negatively sa nagkakagulo yung buhay natin. But if you use it na maganda, positive, that's it. Okay. So, well, I would like to end my piece with a certain poem regarding loving myself. I don't know if I've said this before already in our program.
I don't
I
think you
used to
have.
say it a lot. Yeah. Yung parang nakakatawa. Anyway, so wag na lang.
What is it? No,
Yes,
no, no.
well,
I
it's
haven't
short
heard
naman.
you. No, I
You
haven't
haven't heard
heard.
me. Okay.
No, no, no.
You haven't heard it. Okay.
No, that's what I said. I haven't heard it.
Okay. I thought you heard it already. So, okay. It goes like this. I love myself and I feel so grand. I go to the movies and hold my hand. I put my arms around my waist. And when I get fresh, I slap my face. That's all.
That's cute. Um, for anything else you want to add?
Wala na, yun lang. Actually, okay. As I've said kanina, before you actually have to stop me on that, the reason why I keep on talking about my experiences is I cannot talk about something that I haven't done yet. Kaya I need to explain it in terms of how I did it so that, nga, it can be done because I've done it. Ganun lang yung point ko doon. Kasi
Yes.
many people who talk about motivation, about law of attraction, ask them, have you done it? Have you? No. But according to the books, but sabi ko, why haven't you done it? Well, later on. Sabi ko, hindi. Dapat, if you really are a real effective motivational speaker, if you want to become one, you have to live to live your talk. In terms of walk your talk rather. Otherwise, people won't believe you. Yeah, I documented everything in terms of what I had done in my blogs and in my books. Para lang talaga people would understand where I'm coming from. Na hindi ito bola, hindi ito hausyaw, hindi ito gawa-gawa lang. This is true. It can be done because I've worked with it, the principles that I worked with it. That's all.
For those of you, because I know there are people watching this that are more advanced and understand quantum mechanics and quantum physics. I wanted to just read this because this will help you. And I'm sorry if this video is so basic to some of you, but this is for you. I wanted to add this so you get something out of this video. It's about quantum manifestation and why it's simple, but yet nobody does it. So let me just read what it says, because this is a good article too. Quantum Shift explores the concept of manifesting your reality through the lens of quantum physics and emotional alignment. The trap of trying is the culprit. So most people approach manifestation as a struggle, using willpower to force outcomes. However, in the quantum world, forcing is friction. I mentioned that earlier, right? So, how about the observer effect? The reality exists as waves of probability that only collapse into a fixed event when met with a coherent observer, which is your focus, your attention, and your emotion. I mentioned this earlier. Being, not getting. Quantum manifestation is not about getting what you want, it's about becoming the version of yourself that living, that
Exactly.
already living it. Because the truth is, there's another version of you out there, because we are multidimensional being, that's already living the life that you want. That's why I created the masterclass Teleport to the Best Version of You, because in there, there were, I think, 14 lessons and 7 or 9 meditation, because you're not gonna be able to manifest things without doing inner work. It's impossible. Impossible.
Yep.
Okay. So the role of the subconscious, this is where meditation comes. The role of the subconscious and the heart subconscious dominance. While you might consciously want success, your subconscious, which runs 95% of your life, might be broadcasting fear or lack. Okay. While you might be consciously want success, your subconscious mind might be broadcasting fear or lack. So if you're not practicing um, mindfulness and awareness, you might not be able to catch yourself and transmute whatever that lack, fear energy is. The quantum field responds to this deeper integrated signal rather than just spoken affirmations. Affirmation alone is not going to work. Heart coherence. The heart's electromagnetic field is stronger than the brain. I talk about this in book 1. Which one's smarter? Heart. Your heart's smarter than your brain, but we are indoctrinated to be logical, using our left brain all the time. So manifestation fails when the mind and heart are out of sync. True alignment requires your thoughts, emotions, and actions to move in the same direction. I said that earlier. They have to be in coherence. All 3 of them. So why people struggle? Because of the control trap. Humans are addicted to control and hypervigilance. By constantly checking for results, like scanning your bank account with anxiety, you broadcast a signal of mistrust and lack to the field. Resistance. Letting go feels unnatural. However, the paradox is that the moment you stop needing it so desperately, the field can finally deliver. So, embody the state now. To manifest abundance, you must practice feeling abundant before the money arrives by being generous with your time and energy. Manifestation isn't about feeling good all the time, it's about being real, being you, and learning to return to alignment when you wobble into fear or doubt. Right? I said that earlier. You're not practicing awareness, you are in this fear mode and you don't even know that you have to transmute that. So, morning, night practice, start the day by asking what frequency you are tuning into, trust versus fear, and end it with gratitude to amplify coherence. All right, dear ones. That's powerful. That's
Yeah,
very,
yeah,
very
yeah. Very
powerful
good, very good.
message.
As a matter of fact, as I've said again, well, going back to everything, it's all about you. But the thing here is, do you know who you are? Do you really know who you are? Because again, as I've said, everything should be aligned according to who you are. Because you cannot be the authentic you if you don't even know who you are. The real thing here is you cannot even love yourself if you don't understand first who you are. But if you are able to love yourself and accept everything about yourself, that means that's exactly what we need to become. Being aware of everything that is inside us. So, as I've said, I've discovered who I am. I know very well who I am. I live my life according to who I am. Sometimes I do some parallel lives according to what I could still become. I don't limit myself to who I am right now because this is me in this lifetime. But I know I'm going to evolve into something else again in the future. So I'm ready for those things. And then somehow I am already experiencing many things that I could become already all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once in terms of what I can become. I am already becoming and doing it at this particular life in this particular lifetime. We are really multidimensional beings again, and not only multidimensional beings. We are actually galactic beings. So we have to understand everything in terms of looking at those particular points so that we can really integrate them into our beingness because that's where we are headed to in terms of what we are now programming our bodies to become. We are really light bodies. So talagang everything physical in terms of matter will already somehow become, well, not exactly obsolete, but then again, it will not hamper us and it will not limit us now because we can become, again, as I've said, another version of what we can really become, who we are in terms of the God we are in the first place. So there's no limit. So talagang, that's why nga, in the next lifetime, kung if I come here again on earth, I don't know what particular birthday again I will choose so that I will experience again what and again zodiac sign I will become or whatever. So kung gano'n na, kung babalik pa ako, but I don't think so. I think this will be my final incarnation here on earth because I would see myself living in another dimension or planet, whatever there is to explore. So that's it. I mean, I think pa na ako eh. Kumbaga, nag-overstay na nga ako when I volunteered to come here. So I think I've done my job in a way that it, I would say started the ball rolling and somehow you know, I just want to see it in fruition in terms of its end as to how. But then again, it's a lifelong thing. It's an eternal thing. So our soul will keep on evolving into other dimensions later on. So walang katapusan yan. So this is not the only lifetime we're talking about. So with
Okay.
that,
So the last 2 days, the spirit has been guiding me to talk about reset and start again
reset.
and start again. So it doesn't matter what situation all of you are in right now. It doesn't matter because you can always hit that reset button and start again.
Yep.
No one is stopping you. Don't allow. And so if somebody is stopping you, like your spouse or your parents, don't listen to them. Don't
I
listen.
You know,
You have to.
I was able to watch a movie lately. I mean, I don't know if you would really approve of it because you know he got involved in some negative. I know, but the movie Michael, the story of Michael Jackson. My God, grabe siya. I mean, he worked with affirmations. Talaga doon, explicit. The affirmations were in front of him, and he was applying every affirmation to himself, and he became it, and he became so popular, talagang so wealthy and whatever he wanted to achieve. And he went against his father because his father was controlling him, and he actually decided. He even got someone, okay, I will hire you, but the first thing you will do is to tell my father that he is not anymore controlling my career. Imagine telling your father that. Ganun.
Okay.
I mean, you should
Well,
watch it. I mean, find time to watch it. It's a beautiful movie. Ito talaga makikita mo how affirmations work for him. He really used affirmations. Grabe si Michael Jackson talaga. Everything.
affirmation is is going to help you. Visualization is going to help you, but don't
Yeah.
focus on just affirmation because you
Yeah,
can,
but
like I
ito
said,
talaga.
you can say
He
that you're
lived it.
rich, blah, blah, blah. But if you're not
But
really feeling
talaga,
it and
he
you're
showed
not
it.
taking action towards it, then it's not going to work.
Yeah. Sa
But what
kanya
I'm
talaga, he
trying,
lived it.
yeah,
He lived
but
it
what I'm,
because he was not educated in usual school. So, wala siya natutunan except those kinds of things that came about, mga affirmations nga. And he only read a particular book and it was about Peter Pan and Neverland. It's all about childhood things. Yun lang ang kwento niya talaga. But look what he had become and what he had achieved in terms of living the life that he wanted later on, going against really everywhere, everything else, especially with his father. And then, you know, he only had the affirmations inside his mind, and that kept him going, and everything really happened
okay.
for him. Maganda.
I don't want to be disrespectful to parents by saying this, but again, the truth is our parents might not be as matured soul as you are.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they may
that's
not
true.
be able to understand it. So that's why I'm saying it's up to you if you decide to start over again and reset. Do that
Mm.
if it's guiding you to do that, regardless, because people don't tend to not do what it is that they're guided to do because they are thinking about other people. What will they say? What will my parents say? What my spouse will say? Like I said, your spouse, whoever is in your circle that's trying to stop you in doing what it is that you're guided to do, because you know when it's for you, you feel it. You feel happy thinking about it. Your intuition will tell you, right? Your gut
Yep,
feeling will tell you. You'll have passion for it. But you struggle because some people are not approving of you of it. But like I said, just remember these people that's around you may not be as advanced soul as you are. You might be the person who needs to bring them up,
yep,
right? With the thing that you're trying to change for yourself and for your family. So, again, like the last 2 days, I've been guided to talk about reset. I talk about reset button in book one, the very first time that I wrote it in 2020. It doesn't matter where you at in your life. It doesn't matter how old you are. There's always, and again, this is also taught in Vipassana. Our teacher would say, start again, start again, start again.
start
Hit
again.
that reset button. Doesn't matter how old you are. Because the reason why it's important to do that is because if you don't do that, then you get stuck in the blame and the past of what happened in the past. And unless you release that, the blessings is not gonna come in and you self-sabotage. So that
Okay.
belief needs to be released, needs to be let go. And then the moment you really, really do let that go, then it will manifest. But remember, don't chase, be a magnet. Don't
Be
chase
a magnet.
things. It comes to you. Be the version that you are, and then it'll come to you. All right. Thank you for being patient. We're over an hour, but I think we've covered a lot of things. I hope that these things that we shared today will help you manifest, great things in all aspects of your life. All right.
All right.
With that said, thanks everyone.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for watching. Thanks, Sir Tato, for again sharing your wisdom with everyone. And we'll see all of you next week again. And I'm glad my camera's working today unexpectedly. I
Yes,
didn't even try.
congratulations.
I didn't even try to fix it. But you know what? Like I said many times before, I get
It's your
attacks,
consciousness.
psychic attacks all the time. So these things are just technological issues are just norm to me, but it doesn't bother me because I know that somehow it will fix itself. And yes, you're right.
Yep.
My consciousness is affecting my a lot
Your
of my
observation, you're
electronics.
observing whatever. It's
All
all
right.
about you. Again, you are creating everything in your world.
Yes, and always positive and not see what happens. I didn't get upset of not having my camera on. And then what did
No.
Spirit do? It just gives it back to me without me even trying it. These are the
Mm.
examples, little things, but I'm very grateful about because I don't have to fix it. I didn't have to spend any more time because when you're trying so hard, that's when it doesn't come through. And that's what I was doing. The first time that this happened, the first 2 weeks that it happened, I was trying to get it back until I'm like, okay, forget it. Whatever. The show must go on without my face in it. My picture is there. It's fine. And it works today. So hopefully it will work again next week.
Of course it will. Oh,
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
hi.